Alright, so this is Karen playing MechWarrior 4. I do have the Mekpak 3 update. Mekpak 4 is probably never ever going to come out. But I was just going to show off some of my favorite mechs and the way I fit them. This is the Blackheart, which is just an awesome looking mech. Like it's got magazines for its arm mounts. It's got awesome looking arm mounts. The cockpit's pretty mean looking. Triple missile launchers in the chest. This is one of my fittings for if I have to do a lot of close range fighting. Clan Rack 10s with 2 tons of ammo a pop. And then just the standard SRMs. Yes, I could get ER medium lasers. I mean, I already have Clan Tech on it, so I'm obviously not a purist. I could get ER medium lasers and C-Streaks in for these, but that would drastically mess with the heat efficiency. And just having heat issues on a mostly ammunition dependent mech is just bad. As you can see, I have no heat sinks on it because it's mostly ballistic and missiles with only a couple points where you can really put energy weapons. It's my close range variant. No. This is my long range, medium range variant. It's the one I use more often. The Gauss rifles put out more of a punch. Yes, in this one I do have C-Streaks. Yes, I could put ER medium lasers, but again, I would start to generate heat problems, and since I usually fire all the missile launchers at once, and fire the medium lasers whenever I can, heat issues would be very, very prevalent. Yeah, you could. The stock fitting, there's nothing wrong with it. This is just slightly better. C-Streaks, just because I fail at leading with short-range missiles on moving targets or while I'm moving. C-Streaks are just so much better. And Clan Gauss rifles hit harder. Yes, they have slower cycle time. A little less range than the light Gauss rifles, but just the added damage helps. And they have less ammunition, 6 less rounds apiece, but I mean, they hit so hard. It usually doesn't take that many rounds to bring a target down unless you're pounding into the front of an Atlas or something. So another of my favorites is the Thug. Oh, it's an inner sphere mech. Again, absolutely nothing wrong with the stock fitting. The only thing I don't like about the Thug is its lack of ECM. I do like having ECM, no jump jets. I'm not too huge on jump jets, but they are useful, especially on snipers. But I upgraded a little bit, putting in clan, not even clan, IS, capacitor PPCs, a couple ATM6s, and C-Streak 2s. So it still has a fair amount of firepower. It says it has less firepower than the stock variant, but that's bullshit. These capacitor PPCs do ridiculous amounts of damage. And with the 72-73 heat efficiency, I can fire them pretty often. Okay, the Masakari, clan name Warhawk. I have 2 variants. I don't use this one myself. Anything with large pulse lasers, heat efficiency, it just comes up wrong. Like, you can fire these things pretty often and still not overheat, so I don't really mind this as much. It does have 17 heat sinks on it. This is my energy support version. I always give it to a lance mate. Long-range pulse lasers are just amazing, and just being able to fit 4 of them and nothing else. It's essentially my Rifleman 2 clan, except it weighs 85 tons. And there's no way to... Without the actual chassis for Rifleman 2 clan, there's no way to recreate it other than on the Warhawk, really. This is the one I use. It's just the standard Prime version. As you can see, I made it like the way it's supposed to be, with 4 ERPPCs and an LRM-10. There was nothing wrong with the original Warhawk. I did have to slow it down to get enough heat sinks on it. I have 19, it's supposed to fit 20 doubles. I got 19 on there, which is close enough, still pretty decent heat efficiency. I wouldn't recommend firing all 4 PPCs at once, but if worst comes to worst and you have to hit an Alpha Strike, it is possible. So the 19 heat sinks definitely help, and as you can see, I had to slow it down. Well, this is another one of my favorite support mechs, the Fafnir. It really is sort of an assault mech, but I call it support just because I always give it to a lanceman. I rarely ever pilot it myself. It is extremely heavily armored. It has 18 tons of armor, with room for ridiculous amounts more. And I always use the stock fitting. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It has good heat efficiency. Yes, you can upgrade the lasers, but you'd fuck with the heat efficiency. And heavy Gauss rifles are within 600 meters on a target that cannot move quickly, or on a target moving in a straight line or anything. These things will pummel anything. I've one-shot an Atlas by hitting in the back with both of them before. They do ridiculous amounts of damage. As you can see, they do 29 damage apiece. They don't generate much heat. Not only that, but it has 2 tons of ammo for both. So it's in there for the long haul, and even if it didn't, it packs enough energy weapons to you know, still put out a punch even if it ran out of ammo, which I've never had that case. So I think out of all the mechs that came with the game, and even the ones added in Mekpak 4, the Fafnir is by far the most OP just because of these heavy Gauss rifles. Alright, nothing says clan more than the Mad Cat, aka the Timberwolf. It is sort of the poster child of what it means to be clan. It is extremely heavily armed, it's very quick. I'll give you a look at the stock version first. It packs a lot of firepower, it's got long range and close range weapons. My variants, I have a range variant. I took out the pulse lasers, I put in more ER medium lasers. You know, just made it an all-around range mech. And the other one I tend to use more I always give these to lance mates for the most part. The other one I tend to use more often is, I had to take out the large lasers and I put an arrow 4 cluster on it. And arrow 4 clusters do a lot of damage and it has an extra ton of ammo, so it can be fired, you know, throughout the entire battle. 30 rounds is a lot. And it's got some supporting lasers. And then of course the variant that I like to pilot, which is more like the Mad Cat C variant, if you've ever seen what the Mad Cat C variant is from the original game. PPCs, lasers, and the C-streaks. So that's how I like to, if I like to get behind the cockpit, that's what I like to use. Of course, if you like the Mad Cat, it's hard not to like the Mad Cat Mark II. Again, I have a support version with an Arrow 4 cluster. I tried to get 2 Arrow 4 Thunderbolts on it, but I just could not include enough supporting weapons to justify it, because it would be ridiculously undergunned at close range. So I just went with 1 cluster, and then a couple light PPCs and a lot of lasers. Alright, even though you cannot get 2 Arrow 4 Thunderbolts on the Mad Cat Mark II, and even though the Stalker is 5 tons lighter, you can most definitely get 2 Arrow 4 Thunderbolts on the Stalker. It's not the most armored mech in the world, but it has ridiculous amount weapon tonnage. So normally it's fitted for close range. Obviously, that's not the way the Stalker is originally fitted in any of the other games or in the actual board game. But I took out the rocket launchers it normally has, which would normally be LRM-15s, and these would be normal SRM-6s, and put on 2 Arrow 4 Thunderbolts, which is just mad amounts of ranged firepower, an extra ton of ammo apiece, and some close range support weapons in the form of C-Streak 4s and ER medium lasers. And as you can see, the firepower is through the roof. And another extremely sexy looking mech. Has Omni hardpoints, which makes it amazing. Laser anti-missile standard. Not the most armor in the world, but it is fairly quick for an assault mech. I had to upgrade some heat sinks on it, obviously. But I like the Templar. It's a very sexy looking mech. This is my energy variant. There's nothing wrong with the stock variant again. I just put on 2 PPCs, Clan Ultra 2s, and ER medium lasers for supporting weapons, and a C-Streak 6 for a little bit added extra close range firepower. And then the stock version is just fine, obviously. Because Clan Gauss rifles and light Gauss rifles have the same weight, I always strip the light Gauss off and put the Clan on. If we do a purist battle where it has to be either all Clan or all IS, I'm perfectly happy going with the light Gauss rifles. They still do a lot of damage, they have a little bit more range, and they have more ammunition. Yeah, that's what I use for that one. And of course, how can you not talk about supporting firepower and not talk about the Daiichi? Clan named Direwolf. It's not the most heavily armored, it certainly doesn't have as much armor as the Atlas, but 14.5 is still a lot of armor to chew through. It carries a wide range of weapons, obviously. You can see it has a lot of Omni hardpoints, a lot of room for energy, ballistic, and missile weapons. This is my close range variant. I usually give it to a lance mate, occasionally I'll pilot it myself. I'll use rotary AC5s with extra tons of ammo, C-Streak 6, ER large lasers, and a couple mediums. And then I have my heavy variant, which is the big slugger, which is a similar fitting, but instead of the Streak 6, I have the SMRM-20, and for the big puncher, I have the C Ultra 20 with 1 extra ton of ammunition. And then yeah, that's most of the mechs I use. Occasionally I'll throw an Ally and an Atlas, but the Atlas is so ridiculously armed already. There's really not much you can do with it. I mean, it's so ridiculously armed and armored. It's got massive electronics. and occasionally I'll throw allies and other stuff. But yeah, for the most part, those are all the mechs I use and give to my allies. So hope you like my stuff.